I visited India several years ago and saw something horrible. I occasionally have recurring nightmares about it. So I was on a guided tour through the forests in the northern part of India near the Nepalese border. I still remember the date. It was June 17th, 1998. I was 21 and spending the summer traveling and exploring the world like I had dreamt about. There was the tour guide, his assistant or friend colleague, myself, and 3 other tourists, a husband and wife and a woman about my age. I didn't know them, they just decided to go on the same tour. It was later in the afternoon and the sun was starting to set, and we were heading back on the trail. We were walking under some trees when suddenly a woman who was part of the tour was snatched up into the trees by something. And she briefly screamed for about half a second while the monkey or whatever it was pulled her up into the trees. Then it was complete silence. The tour guide paused for a second, then calmly called for everyone to follow him closely and quietly, then said something to his companion in Hindi. I didn't understand. Myself and the other 2 tourists were terrified, so we kept completely quiet and did as he asked. We walked slowly and quietly for maybe a mile, then he told us to pick up the pace. We practically ran back to the trailhead, then got back in the van we arrived in. We all sat down and I said, "What about the girl?" There was an awkward silence. The tour guide quietly said, "We have to go." Then started the van and promptly gunned it back to the small village we left from. We rode in the van in complete silence, and the husband and wife were holding each other the whole way. When we got there, the husband and wife immediately ran out. The moment I stepped out of the van with my backpack, the tour guide and his friend drive away. I stood there trying to figure out what just happened and what to do about it. I tried speaking to a police officer about it, but he looked at me like I was an idiot, and I remember he suggested I had heat stroke. I gave up and continued my journey, but I never forgot what I saw, even after all these years. I'm haunted by visions of the woman being whisked away into the trees out of the corner of my eye. I can still hear her brief scream. I deeply regret not being able to do more. I've told multiple people this story, and no one believes me, and about once or twice a year I have a recurring nightmare reliving it.